Picture a flawless, sun-drenched jungle. Bright flowers bloom across the forest floor, surrounded by towering green trees and an absolute sense of biological tranquility. Enter Dino. With his big green eyes and a neat red bow tie, he appears to be a natural continuation of this peaceful setting, until he shatters the silence. "I'm hungry! I need food!" This vocal demand functions as a critical, life-or-death biological alarm system. This chart shows the concept of the metabolic vacuum, the daily caloric input required to fuel a juvenile reptile's physical growth cycle completely dwarfs its baseline resting metabolic rate. Growing a new body requires a staggering, continuous volume of energy. Because of this severe energy demand, the seemingly passive, abundant jungle becomes a ticking clock. Those calories must be actively and urgently extracted. Behind every cute, wide-eyed demand lies a ruthless, continuous mathematical equation required to stave off starvation. To understand how he meets these metabolic needs, we must audit the dinosaur's specific physical toolkit. Start with his small, round body. The biomechanics of a low center of gravity, combined with a high mass-to-leg ratio, prevent vertical agility. He cannot climb or jump. This is compounded by a second limitation, the heavily restricted extension length of his tiny arms. This diagram illustrates how those physical limitations apply to his immediate environment. The maximum vertical reach radius of his arms fails to intersect with the height of the tree canopy. The most calorie-dense foods in the high green trees are strictly inaccessible. Looking at his forward reach, the lack of arm extension creates another obstacle. Securing larger, evasive prey is mathematically impossible. He lacks leverage to grapple. These anatomical features systematically eliminate the vast majority of the jungle's visible, high-value food sources. This biological deficit acts as a forcing function, narrowing his options down to a single, highly specific ecological tier. In behavioral ecology, a severe anatomical limitation operates as a strict filter. It forces a creature into a highly specialized behavioral niche to survive. Locked out of the tall trees, focus shifts downward to the flora of the jungle floor. This initiates a strategy of low-hanging caloric scavenging. Physically limited foragers exploit what they can easily access: low bright flowers, fallen scattered seeds, and slow ground insects. Ground foraging inherently exposes a small animal to larger predators, precisely when its attention is compromised by feeding. This image reveals a color palette analysis. Matching the specific yellow and light green tones of his skin directly to the dappled sunlight and bright flowers of the jungle floor creates precise optical camouflage. This exact spotting pattern functions to disrupt his physical silhouette, allowing him to vanish into the background noise of the sunlit lower canopy. Survival depends on an animal's physical traits aligning with the specific spatial and lighting constraints of their microbiome. Once those calories are successfully extracted from the ground-level ecosystem, the initial metabolic deficit is resolved. Energy stores replenish, the immediate physiological demand subsides, and the internal biological alarm system is deactivated. His cheerful facial expressions return as a neurological byproduct of satiation, a state of comfort that temporarily masks the inherent desperation of survival. The dinosaur's physical structure defines exactly how he interacts with his environment. Beneath the most innocent exterior lies a highly evolved engine constantly managing the metabolic demands of the jungle.